Hey, it's me. I don't even know how to go about explaining what I'm doing in this video because honestly, I don't know what I'm doing in this video myself. So I'm just gonna paint whatever I freaking feel like painting today. I wanna paint everything. I don't know, okay? All I know is that I have a creative energy right now that can't be tamed. I'm here, I'm there, I'm over there, I'm up here, I'm down here. Yeah! I hate myself. Focus. I can't. I'm sorry. Maybe I should stop with the cold brew. I have a lot of stuff kind of scattered about that needs to be painted. Of course, when I say scattered about, I mean they're all in their proper places, put away and organized. So I'm just gonna go around and collect a bunch of options, and then I'm going to just choose something to paint on as it calls to me. I found quite a few things. We got a little bit of everything here. We got bags, outlet covers, shoes, seashells and rocks, Russian nesting doll, deco squishies. I even pulled out my sketchbook just in case I want to be like really normal. So weird. How am I possibly gonna choose? I have ideas for all of it. I am not gonna make any rules for this video. I'm not gonna say how many things I'm gonna paint because I'm just gonna paint for as long as I have time this week, and that'll be the video. If I paint one thing, that's fine. If I paint everything, that's great. That's not gonna happen. I will just use up all my time that I have doing whatever things that I do and however many of those things that I can. This is the most vague, unhelpful intro I've ever filmed.
Yes, it is. So I'm just gonna stop you right there before you do anything else that makes you look like a complete nutcase. I did finally sit down to paint, and I decided that this was calling to my heart. It's a very simple, plain little pencil bag. I bought a bunch of these a really long time ago, and I've been working through painting on all of them for years now. I have kind of a thing for pencil pouches in general. I may or may not be hoarding them, but this isn't about my old designs, okay? It's about what is to come. So let me get ready. Bring in my custom paint colors. First design choice I must make is the background color. Just choose one of these to put on there. Let's see.
Watermelon red, chocolate brown, mint green, forest green, baby blue, light pink, tan, two-tone pink, speckled blue, hot pink.
Orange. And lavender, which is what I'm gonna choose. Thank God. Painting that on, and while I'm doing that, you know, my idea is just kind of forming together in my little noggin. Even though I said this isn't about my old designs, I kept thinking about my old design, this one in particular. There's something about it that I really like, and I want to take and use. Now that I have a nice base to work on, I'm gonna start sketching out my idea. I decided that I want to paint a raccoon head on here. What does a raccoon head have to do with a unicorn? Well, notice that unicorn is wearing a flower crown, and the flower crown is wearing these little shinies, which reminds me, raccoon, because you know how raccoons are attracted to shiny objects. I know that this raccoon would never be caught dead in a flower crown. She's far too sassy. So instead, I'm giving her a crown of gems. It's not a flower crown. It's not a royal crown. It's gem crown. For the coloring of the raccoon, I'm just admiring that moment. I'm creating a light tan color and a deep brown to go with it. Going in, here we go. I do realize that raccoons are usually black, gray, and white, but I don't know, I wanted to give her kind of a softer look. The only problem is when we deviate from that very recognizable color scheme, it may not end up looking like a raccoon at all. I've only just started the face, but I was really eager to start painting those gems, so I'm doing it. For some reason, my camera is like swaying back and forth during this. It was on a tripod. There should have been zero movement here. Should I be scared? Normally something so tedious as painting a buttload of
Tiny little sections on a bunch of tiny little gems
would have been something that I kind of struggle to get through, but I actually really enjoyed this. Even though I did start this video like completely spazzy, I promise I wasn't on anything besides cold brew. I did calm down once I started painting. I actually think I had even more focus focus and more patience than usual.
Oh, that's Wade.
I was a little bit worried about how well these gems were gonna come out. I've never painted gems before. I did draw them once in connection with another raccoon, actually. And I was worried that if the edges weren't perfectly precise, they would just look like a pile of melted gem goo. But I think I was able to give them just enough definition where we did avoid that. Except for this. Gosh, that's awful. Now I'm just adding some shading into the gems. I have no clue how to shade a gem. There's just so many different planes and they're all facing different directions and they're reflective and they have a slight bit of transparency. And
Oh, so much.
so I'm kind of just making up crap and hoping that you get the picture. I did use my Posca pen to give the edges a nice bright highlight. Oh, they're looking sharp, literally, which makes me realize I think it's fair to guess that the gem crown is not as comfortable as the flower crown. We just won't tell her that. Beauty is pain, I think. I wouldn't know. Okay, I think I'll leave those alone for a little bit. Back to the raccoon. I'm adding a bunch of her details, including her face markings. Jeez, that scared me. Pouring out a little black paint.
Ooh.
A lot of black paint to paint her facial features and her whiskers because yes, raccoons do have whiskers. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. Don't trust people like that. Once I sat back and looked at this though, it looks more like a Siamese cat sloth. So maybe if I add like a little muzzle area, it'll look a bit more like a raccoon. I know it looks like I'm just making a big mess here, and I am. In the meantime, while that dried, I was just working on some other areas that still needed some help, adding little did-it-do-do-do-das.
What?
You know, those things. I gave some of my gems a little bit more of an intense shine. Finally, I can go back in with the face. I'm not totally sure that the white muzzle did much of anything, but I'm gonna tell myself that it did because she needs to look like a raccoon or else my entire concept is in the toilet. I added my signature to this and boom, front looks good. Now how about the back? Boom, painted it purple. Boom. Stop saying boom. And I thought I was done with this, but then when I went to edit this footage, whoa, that's trippy. I decided the gems needed a little bit more depth. So I went back at it again. Man, I really need to learn how to pour smaller amounts of paint. Get a little purple and green. Oh, the green is almost out. Let's see here. What do we have in there? So these are just darker versions of the colors that I've already used, and I'm just gonna go in and add little bitty shadows behind each and every one of the gems, and the pouch is finished. I freaking love this pouch. I recognize it's not perfect. There's a couple things that are a bit wonky, not perfectly symmetrical, whatever. I don't care. I love it just the way it is. It's a sassy raccoon who loves little shinies, and it's just so freaking cute. I'm just so happy with her. The next item I decided to paint is a sketchbook page. I know. There was a unicorn cake squishy and I picked up the sketchbook. Really? I had an idea for a painting and I just really wanted to do it, okay? Doesn't look that good right now, but hopefully by the time I'm done with it, it's gonna look great. Or more realistically, I'm just hoping for a piece of art that I don't want to burn. Set those expectations low. What is that hand? So there are many issues with my people drawing skills. This is a thing we all already know, unfortunately. But I feel like the biggest one is proportion. So being aware of that, I was really trying to take my time to get this looking as right as possible. I had a very specific scene that I wanted to draw, which I created completely in my imagination. So I didn't have a reference to use, which you guys yell at me about. I did try to use bits and pieces of different images, like for the hands and parts of the bodies. It's like a Frankenstein of references, and that's the best I can do. Oh, that's a very square chin, and I just reinforced it just like that. Something I've been doing recently is taking straight on photos to check and see if any changes need to be made. I guess because when you're drawing on a flat surface, your perspective is slightly warped, which is why I think technically you're supposed to be drawing or painting on an easel, but I don't use an easel because I don't enjoy torturing myself. Thank you, but no thank you. It's time to outline. Normally I use an ink fine liner, but today I thought I'd give my Posca liner a try. But wait.
Hey, hello. Today I am launching the most amount of products at one time I ever have, and I'm very excited to show you all of them. So,
I know. There was a unicorn cake squishy, and I picked up the sketchbook. Really? I had an idea for a painting and I just really wanted to do it, okay? Doesn't look that good right now, but hopefully by the time I'm done with it, it's gonna look great. Or more realistically, I'm just hoping for a piece of art that I don't want to burn. Set those expectations low.
Hey, Yeah, where do I start? This is a lot of stuff, and it's all completely brand new custom design products. I'm just in love with everything here. This is all great stuff for school if you are still in school, but also if your school days are over, these are all still things that you can use and enjoy. No matter what your situation is, it's never the wrong time for cute bags and stationery items, right? So we've got a pickle pencil case, also this adorable donut pouch, super roomy, like you could fit your whole life in there. 3 different styles of bags here. We've got the crazy, colorful, lots of different characters with a colorful front pocket. And then we have this design, which also has a lot of my characters on it if you want something a little bit more subdued. We have the pickle character backpack. This one is just freaking wild, and I think it's so cool. Oh gosh. Not to mention this awesome sweatshirt that I'm wearing. It's embroidered. Tell me that's not awesome. We have all the pickle stuff. Just be like, and there's a stationery box which includes the notebook, the bookmarks, pencils, erasers, sticky notes, stickers, and a squishy. The link to the store is in the description if you want to shop for yourself. Bundle purchases come with a free Pickle the Dinosaur pin, but that's only for orders within the first 10 days from this launch. Be sure to check your order page for estimated shipping times. Alrighty, let's get back to the video now.
Okay, we're back. So I actually really liked using the Posca for the outline. I've used Micron pens in the past, but I've always secretly hated them. The ink dries out. Also, you have to hold them very vertically in order to get the ink to flow. For me, they're super annoying to work with, and I kind of feel insecure about it because everyone else uses them without a problem, so like, it must be me doing something wrong. But this Posca pen was so much easier, and it went over my pencil lines with no problem. The only thing is, it does take longer to dry, so you gotta be real careful about smudging. You may be wondering what is happening between these girls. What's the story? So let me set the record straight and explain in a minute. Right now, we need to focus on erasing all my old pencil lines. Are you focusing? This is just such a cleansing experience. Getting rid of all the nasty, messy struggles of the past. And the only way to dispose of your eraser dust is with a hand vacuum. If you've just been brushing it off onto the floor all these years, don't do that anymore. I added a little bit of line variation. To paint this, I'm using a brand new pack of fancy watercolors. Hallelujah. Put a little damper on the magic how the red one chipped apart in the packaging and got on all the other colors. I tried to use compressed air to get rid of all that mess. It didn't work. Everyone knows the best way to improve your art is to go out and buy the fanciest art supplies that you can. Lies. But I was getting a little tired of my crusty watercolor set. Look at all these. And they're all in individual little paint trays. Oh my gosh. Not exactly sure how that's supposed to help me, but it's fancy. I can feel it. First color I need is a nice brown. Since a bunch of these looked super dark, it was hard to tell what color they were, so I had to test them. Oh, exposed. None of them were really what I was looking for, so I ended up having to mix the color anyway. So fancy new set with tons of colors, and the first color I want is nowhere to be found. It's fine. I'm fine. And already, I'm definitely struggling a little bit here. Not super happy about how this is looking right now, but I'm hoping I can fix it later. I'm gonna move on to this pastel turquoise color, which I am dying to use, and I quickly discovered that they're actually quite opaque. It's covering a lot of my black outline, so this means I'll have to redraw a lot of the outline in the end. Okay, maybe you're supposed to do the outline last? Why do I have no idea how to make art? At this point, I seriously considered ditching this completely and pretending like it never happened, but I decided, you know what, let's keep holding on. Maybe we can fix it. Now, I've kept you in the dark, and I think it's time to explain what is happening here. So we have 3 ladies. They're at some kind of formal event, you know, one of those where you get into fancy dresses and everyone shows up with a different hair sculpture. Yeah, one of those. I've been to like 7 of them. I wanted to make each girl with a different theme and give them ridiculously over-the-top hairstyles to go with their theme. So on the left, we have the ice cream girl, and her hair is supposed to look like ice cream, obviously. This girl is all about bows. She's got a giant hair bow, literally bow made of hair. And then there's this girl whose hair is supposed to look like roses. Yikes. I feel like her hairstyle is the weakest of the 3, but we'll still let her in. She's trying. These 2 are goofing off and joking around together, laughing, carrying on. Over here like And then this girl's standing there like, seriously guys, not even funny. You know that one. It's always the girl with the rose buns. Anyway, that's the story. I think I know where I got the color scheme from. So now I have a very flat, boring layer of watercolor over this, and I'm going to attempt to make this less bad. And this is the point where this actually got really fun for me, except for when I knocked over a whole bunch of stuff on my table. Also, I don't know why my camera was like freaking out with flashing lights right here. So first it's moving on its own, now it's flashing. Clearly there's a little creature living inside trying to mess with me.
Obviously.
Beware of the camera creature. Oh, and that's just me knocking over more things. So back to the art. I love using colored pencils for details, but it can be literally painful to use them on large areas. So it actually works out really well to paint the basic colors with watercolor and then just use the colored pencils to kind of add the depth and the detail. So this did end up being less paint, more draw. I don't know what this video is anyway, so I'll allow it. Don't know if you guys will like this video or not, but it was really refreshing for me to just get started with no plan and just paint and draw. I was able to relax a little bit more than usual. I still ended up putting the same amount of time into this video as most every other video that I make, but the experience was a little bit different. I know my people drawing skills aren't quite there yet, and this may not be the best. Although last time I said something like this, I saw a lot of comments like,
Mariah, please stop criticizing your art. You're being way too hard on yourself.
which is really sweet, and I appreciate that, but you know what? I can't. If I know I'm not great at something, I'm probably gonna say it just because I want to acknowledge that I'm aware of the situation. You can't be great at everything, and it's fine to admit that. Even though I'm aware that this isn't the best, I'm actually really, really happy with it. Once I got over some of the hurdles with the watercolor, I just had such a blast making this. For the background, I'm drainting, thanks for the Urban Dictionary ad by the way, a blue oval behind them, which is fine. Doesn't really add that much, not really, but it does make it look a little bit more finished, I guess. And here it is. I mean, for me, this is good. There's probably so much wrong here, and somebody who's more skilled is probably looking at it like, oh gosh, what have you done? But from where I sit, I'm actually really proud of it. I'm happy with the idea. I love their different expressions and their outfits and their hair. You can't wait until your art is perfect to start enjoying it, because then you never will. I'm really happy with this, and I'm really glad that I got to do it. I spent quite a while on these two projects, and I knew it was time for me to start editing for this week, so this is all that I had time to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this random video, because I thoroughly did. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!